and know that there are people who are out there who use their ginormous platforms associated with Christianity to do these kind of things and say these kind of things.
I should do everything possible to surrender that privilege at the door. If the way you look at my loved ones isn't the way you look at me, I'm not truly standing with them. It's like Stan Mitchell says, if you claim to be someone's ally but aren't getting hit by the stones thrown at them, you aren't standing close enough.
Why?
Okay, well, that's Indie Thinker out there, and you guys can see that in its totality. I'm taking that off the screen. Get that junk off the screen. All right, we got a couple things that we need to do. We need to play some Erskin music. And that should say our drag queens taking over the Christian Music Award shows. Re-drag queens. So yeah, questions down at the bottom there that you guys can comment on. What do you guys think about what's going on in this conversation that we're having so far? All right, real quick, because I got a hard stop today. I got a hard stop today. Let me just read this real quick and then make a quick commentary. And then I'm playing music on the way out the door today. Sorry, it's a little bit shorter, but let's go with this. This is the Baptist Press. And according to the BaptistNews.com, a cursory perusal of the GMA's procedure and policies manual excludes a whiff of self-congratulatory pomp. According to the document, categories like Song of the Year and Songwriter of the Year are based on sales, airplay, and church performances during the eligibility period. The inherent nature of these criteria raises questions about the inclusivity of the awards and how much Christendom is truly represented by these markers. Listen, the BaptistNews.com has got a very liberal slant. So for Flamey Grant, the dude look like a lady. Flamey Grant, and a take on Amy Grant, in whom, if you're going to take somebody's name that is a compromiser in Christian music, Flamey Grant and Amy Grant, that's actually brilliant marketing. But according to the article by Kelsey Kramer and McGinnis in Christianity Today, the core audience of Christian music skews conservative and is likely to hold traditional stances on marriage. And the reality that makes up the airplay is exclusive of queer Christian artist Similar, who was asked K-Love via social media to play the song Faith, requested and did not get acknowledged by K-Love Radio, and who did not respond to the request for a comment. Church performances and another limiting gauge. And this article goes on to say, and you can see this article in its entirety, and I wish I had time to read it, but essentially it's going on to say, here's the metrics of how the GMA comes up with who gets selected for these awards. They want awards. They want to be acknowledged. They want to be seen. And so I'll just say this really quickly. There's this thing, and it's almost hilarious. I know I'm about to run out of time, but there's this thing, and it's hilarious, that happens in Christian music, and it's called the Nashville No. You meet somebody, it's like, hey, we should get coffee sometime. Oh, yeah, we should definitely do that. Hey, I'll invite you to this thing. You'll never hear from them. It's called the Nashville No. And I'm getting ready to go. It's called the Nashville No. They have given Flamey Grant, Similar, Derek Webb, and all these guys the Nashville No. It's not that they didn't hear you. It's just that they don't want to comment on it because they don't want to do it. They don't want to have to tell you no, so they're just not going to say anything to you. And at times I've been critical of the Nashville No. Living here in Nashville, home studios, here we are. I've been critical of the Nashville No. But on this particular occasion, I can see why the Nashville No is a very appropriate response. I'm just doing this because I've been made aware of it, but you won't see multiple broadcasts and shows in the Erskin Music Show that are devoted to this nonsense. It was what it was. It was a spectacle. They were trying to get attention, and they would love it if YouTubers would just go crazy talking about it because it would elevate their brand. That's the insidious nature of the algorithm that's out there. The more we talk about it, whether it's good or bad, we talked about it, and so therefore more people get a chance to see it. And so it's probably good that I have to go now. But before I go, I did want to show a couple of pictures from the Dove Awards just to let you guys know that it was an incredible evening, incredible event. A lot of cool artists that were there. And I actually think that Christian music, where it's at these days, is kind of the best place that I've ever seen it myself, in my humble opinion. And so, yeah, some really cool things happened this year. And I didn't want these kind of things to be overshadowed. Brandon Lake, Artist of the Year. And so really great to see the success of these artists, to be able to comprehend and to hear their music. And I did want to say to the folks who are at GMA, Your non-response was, I think, the best response. Let me be clear about that. Non-response was the best response. And for the artists that were there, I hope this in no way overshadows the accomplishments and the hard work that you put into. One of those artists, a couple of those artists, I was with this last weekend, in the form of Cindy Morgan, who had arranged the album, inspirational album of the year, Point of Grace's album, and the gals from Point of Grace, and who at some point we hope to have on our show. Yeah, just great things that are going on there. And so I didn't want those things to be overshadowed with some of the nonsense that took place at the Dove Awards this year. And so we got a song that's coming up. Drop your comments in the comment section today, and we will keep the comment section up until the end of the show. And the song that is coming up for today, let me dial this thing up. It's a song called With You. And it's one of my favorites, one of the early bangers that we had come out. And I think it's a song that just speaks to the issue of how when one is closely related to the Lord, one's desire to please the Lord and see him exalted is the main desire. Not to make a mockery of him, not to make a mockery of Christianity, not to get political or social advantage as a result of Christ, but truly to love Christ and to know Christ. And so this is the song called With You. And this will be the outro for the show today because I got a hard stop today. So the buzzer has stopped me